This is my first time doing game development in my whole life, and I made an entire video game in 2 days in Unreal Engine 5. First, I'm gonna show you the game, and then I'm gonna show you how you can make it. So, let's get started. So, I've set up 10 pillars, each numbered 1 through 10. The object of the game is to race the car through, knock down all 10 in sequence. So 1 through 10, one after the other, in less than 1 minute. Ready? Go! Okay, off to a good start. We got 1 down. Oh, we missed the 2. We missed the 2. Okay, let's go back and start over. Reset. Okay, ready? Go! Okay, we got 1 down. 2 down. Okay, let's go for 3. Let's go for 3. Come on. 3 down. Come on, baby. Come on, out of my way. Here we go. Number 4 coming in hot. We got number 4. We're at 22 seconds. We're making good time. Go for number 5. Number 5 down. We got a hard hit. Hard hit. Bogey down. Bogey down. I'm stuck on the wall. Come on. Get off the wall. Come on. Go for number 6. Go for number 6. You got this. You got this, Buggy. Come on. Come on. 43 seconds. I'm on number 7 right now. Number 7 is down. Go for number 8. Go for number 8. Come on. Drift it. Drift it. 8 down. 9 down. Oh, I just hit 1 minute at number 9. This last one is a doozy. Number 10. Yes! 1 minute 9 seconds. That's my best time. I've tried this many test runs, and I think my best time before this one was 1 minute 19 seconds. That time I got a 1 minute 9 seconds. So I'll put this up on the Epic Marketplace. If you download Unreal Engine 5, you can just click on Marketplace, and then you can download this. And you can try this out yourself, and you can actually expand the game, make your own levels, or make your own game on top of it, or from scratch. If you played Fortnite, you already have it. If you haven't, you might need to download it. Just Google the Epic Games launcher, sign in or create a login, click on Unreal Engine, and then click up here, top right corner, launch. Then when it gets to this part, you want to click on the Games tab, and then out of these options, click on the Vehicle tab. This will give you a vehicle. You can go do an off-road or a road sports car, and they're kind of clunky at first, but there's years and hundreds of hours of technology built into these cars. So it is going to behoove you to start off with them instead of starting off from scratch. It'll save you months of work, and you can just tweak the settings to your liking. And then name your project. I'm going to do test car. I'm actually going to do the name of this game is Flywheel. This is going to be Alpha 1.0.0. I'm just going to do Alpha 100. This is the very first build of this game. And I'll do create. And I will also upload this, like I said, I think I said earlier, so you can download it off of the if you go to the Epic Games launcher and you click on Marketplace and you search for, it's not uploaded yet, but it will be. If you search for Flywheel, it should pop up. Okay, so this is what we start off with. First thing I'm going to do is just adjust the settings here so I can move around a little faster because it's kind of slow. So I'm going to adjust this camera speed from 4 to 5, and then I'm going to turn off these snaps so that I can freely move things around the way I want to. Okay, so I'm just moving around, holding the right mouse button and moving around kind of like any first-person shooter. I'm going to delete most of everything except the actual level here, so I'm just going to click on and delete all this stuff. I'm going to leave the ramps. I'm going to leave one ramp, delete everything else, because I'm going to remake it the way I like it. I'm also going to delete this player start icon, because that will start with the sports car, and I want to start with the off-road vehicle. So we have our lights here. We can just adjust our light. Just click on the light and then click on rotate, and we can rotate the light and get more of like a sunset view. It looks a little bit nicer than just the blazing hot sun right in our face. So, and then when we have our glowing objects, they show up a little better. Okay, so now let's place our car in the scene. So on the bottom left corner, open up the content drawer. So this is just the folder structure. So these are the things that are in the project by default. So what I want to do is click on vehicles and go into the off-road vehicle. Actually click on the vehicle template, go to blueprints, off-road car, and now this off-road pawn, that is the piece. Like you're gonna start playing chess, you gotta set the pieces of the chessboard in here. So the pawn is where everything, all the information is stored. So I'm just gonna rotate it a little bit, and you can see it's got our model, 3D model, and it's got our camera, and then a first-person view camera that you can switch to with the tab button, and all the equations to make the car work is all built into that. Okay, I'll just click File, Save All. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I want to make this ramp bigger. I'm not going to build everything, I'm just going to build a little bit just to kind of show you. I'm just using the scale tool to scale this ramp up, and then I'm going to scale it down on the height axis to make it not so steep. So that's how I build the ramps, because the ramps there's already ramps there. I just scale them and move them how I like. Now, to build the numbers, what I do is I have to build a container, okay? So it's kind of like when you're doing meal prep for your lunches for the week. You have 5 containers, and you put all 5 of your meals in there, and you put it in the refrigerator, then you just take them out as you need them. That's the same thing here. So I'm going to go to the level prototyping folder and go into meshes, and this is where I'm going to build my containers. So to build a container and put stuff in it to reuse it over and over again, I'm going to right click in this folder, and I'm going to click Blueprint Class, and then click Actor, and then I'm going to name it, I'll do a number 4, so I'll just call it 4, Blueprint 4, and I'll double click on that to open it up. And instead of having it floating here, I'm just going to grab this tab and drag it up here so it's more organized. So here's our world, and here's our container, our blueprint 4. So here's where I can add things. So if I had them already built, I could drag them in, but I'm just gonna click the add button, and I'm just gonna add a simple cube. And I already have a glowing material, and there's tutorials online on how to make glowing materials, so I'm not gonna do that. It's not very difficult. It takes like 1.5 minutes. Just follow the tutorial. I'm gonna lift it up, and the main thing I need to make sure is I click on this button that says simulate physics, because if you don't and you run into that cube, your car's gonna stop and smash your car. The cube's not gonna move. But if you simulate physics, it turns it into a physical object, and it will be, you can knock it around and knock the blocks down. And I'm gonna scale it a little bit so it's a little bit thinner, but it's still got that square shape. And then I'm gonna right click the cube name over here and say duplicate, and then I'll take the duplicated one and lift it up and just keep doing that, duplicating. And so it already has all the physics properties, the material, the scaling, everything the way I like it. Now on this one, I'm going to scale it to the side a little bit and then move it this way a little bit. And then I'll duplicate one of these again, up, and then duplicate one more time, and then there's our number 4. And now we have to test it to see if that will stand up. So now it's not saved, so the way you save containers and equations in Unreal Engine, you don't click the save button, you click the compile button. So when I click this compile button in the top left corner, there, it turns into from a question mark into a checkbox, and that runs everything and gets it prepared for you to run in your video game. So now I can close that, and then I go back to my content drawer, and now instead of an empty container, there's all the stuff that I built inside this container. So I can pull it out here and put it anywhere I want in my scene, and I can move it, rotate it, and scale it. And the cool thing is I can reuse it as many times as I want. So let's say you had like a statue in your video game, and then you reused it 10 times throughout the game, and then you realize, oh, I mean, I wanted to make that statue a little bit like, put like a sword in the statue's hand. As soon as you change the statue in the container, if I go to instead of the graph where all the equations are, I go to the viewport view. If I change that and I make it different, and I just go duplicate, and it looks a little bit different now, and I hit compile, now all of them have updated. So it's a way to make a geometry function that can be duplicated easily and easily updated throughout your entire video game, and it's amazing. So if you do it that way, instead of just making objects and stacking them on top of each other in your level, you want to do the blueprint container, the blueprint class container. That's the way to go. Okay, so I actually don't want that there, so I'm just going to delete that and then hit compile again. Okay, so now we should be pretty good. Like, we could probably just play this. I mean, but there's a lot of settings on the car that we can tweak to make it run better. Oh, it's actually not using it. So in order for it to not use the sports car and instead use my car, the off-road car that I put in the scene, I have to do one thing. I have to go to the off-road car, double click on the off-road pawn, and in the settings on the right side here, in the details of the off-road car _ pawn, Um, I'm trying to find, there's the one setting right here where it says auto possess player. So instead of disabled, I'm going to turn it to player 0. So if you've ever done computer coding, you know that computer language starts from 0 to 9. Instead of, like, if you have $10, you count 1 to 10. In computer language, it always counts 0 to 9. So player 0 is actually player 1. So now my off-road car pawn becomes player 1. So I'll compile that. You always have to compile, or else you're going to lose your information. So now if I hit play, this green play button, I'm actually playing in the car. And now you can see that my blocks have fallen over because they weren't quite balanced properly. So let me go in and fix that. I'm going to go back to my meshes and then my number 4 blueprint container and go to the viewport view. So it's a little bit off balance, so I'm guessing if I moved everything over a little bit to the left, that should work now. Let me try that. Just compile it and run it and again and see if that works. See, it's kind of, it almost fell over, but it's balancing now. And I know some people might like this car and this view exactly how it is. I don't. I like the view back a little bit because I feel like I can see the game better. So what I'm going to go do is go back to my vehicle template, blueprints, off-road car, double click on the off-road car _ pawn. And then inside here, just like when we built our number 4 container, these are all the tires and the mesh and the cameras, the first person view camera and the third person. So now I can go into my viewport for my off-road car and I can actually just click the move tool and just move my camera where I think it's a better view and rotate it. I can rotate it a little bit. And now when I compile it and then go to my map and click play, now my camera is farther back, but it's my preference. You might have a totally different preference. I like it back a little bit more, like about right there, and then rotate just a little bit, and then compile, run. See, this is how I like to view my car. Oh, I'm better. That 4 is still having some problems on some of them. Let's just move this over and balance it a little bit better. Because these now are physical and they have weight and they're bouncing off each other. So if they're not balanced, they'll fall over, as you can see. Let's run it again after we compile. Now we're good. Here we go. Okay, here we go. So now the numbers are working. I can knock them over. They have physics built into the blocks. They're also using a glowing material, so they actually light up the scene. And by default, it's using lumen shadows, which is new to Unreal Engine 5. So the shadows are pretty good from a distance. That some people have noticed that if you zoom in really close, the shadows get a little bit aliased, like jaggy edges. So you can switch back to the regular shadow maps from Unreal Engine 4 if you want to. If you want to do more zoomed in cameras rather than zoomed out. There's tutorials that are linked on my website. There's great channels that are on my YouTube channel that are linked for all these kinds of tutorials for lighting, for blueprints, which is no code programming. So I made this game entirely with no code. Now, blueprints are the visual scripting, the no code video game making materials. And so like when I click on this, double click on this off-road _ pawn, and then I go down here where it looks like a puzzle pieces put together, that's where all the code is programmed in. All these are different equations. I can change the mass, so how much the car weighs. That will affect how heavy it sits on the ground and how I can change the steering. I can change the velocity, the acceleration, the brake, how fast it stops, how fast it accelerates, and you can go through all these different settings and just play with them back and forth until you get it just the way you want it. You could change. There's 3 different steering types, so that'll change the way it steers just a little bit. It's a different equation each time. You can ramp up the RPM so it'll accelerate a little bit faster. You could go up to like 20,000 instead of 4,500. A lot of those things I tweaked, and then you can just see that if you download the Flywheel Alpha 100 from the Epic Marketplace, as long as I have it uploaded by the time you see this. And that's pretty much it. I mean, I can. There's not a whole lot more to say. The whole game that I built was just doing multiple times what I just showed you and tweaking everything to get it just the way I like it, so that it plays well and it's fun. And I have to say, this is a blast. My first time making a video game. It took me 2 days to do the first prototype, and I'm hooked. This is the future.